Okay, guys, I'm gonna talk about the spinal nerves again, and but I'm gonna talk about the spinal nerves in the sacral canal in the levels of spinal segments. So let me just. I was supposed to do like a sketch here just to make things quick, but actually I'm gonna do everything right now. Well, let me start with the spinal nerves in the central canal. I'm gonna do this. I hope you can see the illustration. This is actually the sacrum. And this is supposed to be the coccyx, okay? Now we have here the, let me just draw this part here. I'm gonna grab another pen to make the filum terminale. The filum terminale will come from here all the way down to the coccyx, okay? Slightly thick when you compare with the other pen. Okay, what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna make this the sacral foramens. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna add this part here of the cauda. Okay, I'm gonna add another one here. And another one here. I hope you can hear me, guys. Let me just check something. Probably now is better. I forgot to put the earpod in my ear. Okay, so we have here the cauda. You can see here the spinal ganglia of sacral nerves. Okay, the spinal ganglia here, and I'm gonna keep drawing here. Okay. You see, guys? And then I'm gonna add the last one here. And this one here. And then here, this one is the lower end of a dural and arachnoid tube. So we're gonna make with red. Like this. And with blue. Okay. I hope you can see it, guys. Now, as I mentioned before, this is the filum terminale, the thickest one that extends down to the coccyx. And remember that the filum terminale is a fibrous tissue that extends from the conus medullaris down through the vertebral canal. We have the cauda equina, okay, all these nerve filaments here, the nerve roots that will resemble like a horse tail, and you will always find in the lower part of the spinal canal. And we have here the lower end. This one is the lower end of the dural and arachnoid tubes, and these tubes protect the spinal cord and its surrounding structures all the way down to the sacral canal. We also have the spinal ganglia of sacral nerves, okay, made by sensory bodies, sensory cell bodies that will process information from the lower body. Okay, what else? What else we have here? We have this this sacral nerve here, actually. This one here is the fifth sacral nerve. This one is the fifth sacral nerve, and is responsible for innervate parts of the lower limbs and the pelvic region. We have the coccygeal nerve, which is the coccygeal nerve is the final segment here. This one, this is the fifth. This is the sixth, and the sixth is the final segment of the spinal cord involved in sensory functions of the perineal area. We are going to dive deeper into the function of each one of these nerves, okay? But not now. We also have the lower end of filum terminale here, that marks the termination point of the, basically marks the termination point of the filum terminale within the sacral canal. Now, let me just do another illustration for you. This one. We did this one before, but we are going to do it again. Okay, now what I'm gonna show you here is are the levels of spinal segments. Okay, the levels of spinal segments. So you probably know very well, you already know very well that the spinal cord is shorter than the vertebral canal, and the spinal segments do not align directly opposite their corresponding vertebrae. This is something that you probably notice here in this illustration. Oh, which one? Oh, I didn't know another page. Okay, this one. You probably know that they will not align. As you can see here, the direction and the length of the spinal nerve roots, they already showing, the anatomy is already showing that will not be perfectly aligned with the corresponding vertebra, which is not a problem, of course. Why this is so important to understand this? Well, we need to have an understanding of the location of each spinal segment. Okay, even if you work with any specific kind of therapy like a chiropractic or acupuncture, this will be really helpful for you to understand what you are doing, which areas you are reaching, if you are doing a more medical acupuncture. Okay. Now what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna show you some points of reference that we can use, such as this one. This is 6th cervical segment. 6th cervical segment will lie opposite to the 5th cervical vertebra. Okay, or you can put this CV5 or C5. Then we have here at this level. Oh, let me just tell you something. This is the view of the spinal cord from the frontal plane. Okay, you are seeing the front of the spinal cord. Now we have here the 6th thoracic vertebra. Okay, 6th cervical vertebra. No, sorry, 6th cervical vertebra, thoracic vertebra. 6th thoracic vertebra. Let me do this. Thoracic vertebra. Lies opposite to the 4th thoracic vertebra. And then we have the T12. T12 approximately here. 12th thoracic vertebra lies opposite to the 9th thoracic vertebra. And then we have the 1st sacral segment. Oops. Approximately here. 1st sacral segment. Sacral segment. Lying opposite to the 12th thoracic vertebra. Thoracic vertebra. Okay. Now let me just write this down. First, this part here, filum terminale. which parts we learned here. I will not label, I will leave with you to label, okay? I already pointed the areas, but now is your task to do to label the images, okay? First, filum terminale. Filum terminale. Then cauda equina. Cauda equina. We have the lower end of duro and arachnoid tubes. Lower end of duro and arachnoid sorry, I forgot to put H here, arachnoid tubes. We also have here the fifth let me write here, fifth sacral nerve, sacral nerve. We have the spinal ganglia of sacral nerves, spinal ganglia of sacral nerves. And then we have the coccygeal nerve, coccygeal nerve, and the lower end of a filum terminale. Lower end of filum terminale. Okay, so these are the structures right here. And here is actually the correlation between the segments, the spinal segments, and the vertebrae. Spinal, I'm gonna put here. Spinal segments and vertebra and vertebrae. Vertebrae. Okay, so it's important to have a look at this because this will help you to understand a lot when someone suffer an injury in a specific vertebra, which segment of the spine will be affected. I highly recommend you save at least 30 minutes to review just this part, okay? Now, so I mentioned that this misalignment actually has a significant clinical implication, especially because when performing procedures such as lumbar punctures, it's essential to consider the actual position of the spinal segments to avoid complications. And once you have the understanding of the level of the segments, this will help you if you if you are a nurse or if you are a doctor, to it will help to make the accurate diagnosis of conditions such as herniated discs or spinal stenosis. Chiropractors, osteopaths, physiotherapists, acupuncturists will also take advantage of learn this. So I highly recommend you, again, save at least 30 minutes to cover all the segments and vertebrae if you already have a previous knowledge. If you don't have, probably you will need a little more of time to focus on this part. And yeah, this is what I wanted to share with you today, guys. So levels of spinal segments and also the spinal nerves in the sacral canal. Tomorrow I come back with more videos like this. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.